Good morning. Welcome to the Better Business Workshop. Today we're looking at how to create entrepreneurial success. You know, a lot of people go into business and they start being in business because they're good at what they do. But actually what they end up finding is they've just created themselves a job. So let's look at what the ladder of entrepreneurial success looks like. And I'm joined by my colleague today, Gareth Hughes, to talk us through that. Good morning, Gareth. How are you today?
I'm good. How are you?
Yes, I'm brilliant. I'm driving the tech this morning, Gareth. Yasmin's away today, so apologies if I'm a bit distracted with the tech. Hopefully, it all goes quite smoothly. So Gareth, we're going to talk about the ladder of entrepreneurialism today, right? So talk us through that. I think Michael Gerber had something to say about this in E-Myth, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And the first one, the first rung of the ladder really is what we're all bred for. And what I mean by that is it's what the education system churns out, which is the education system wants worker bees, right? They want employees to go out and do the work, okay? And that's where we all kind of, I mean, you could even say that there's a level below that, which is, a student, right, or something like that. But employee is where we all start our working lives, and this is what the system is designed to churn out and keep you in. Okay.
Yeah.
But then again, you kind of get to a point where you think, hey, well, certainly, a lot of business owners I speak to, hey, I can do this better, right? I can do this better than my boss at the moment. And you branch out and you might start your own business, all right, initially. And what that means is you become self-employed, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Let's change some slides. Yeah, so we're a nation. Was it Napoleon said we're a nation of shopkeepers, right? 70% of our economy are single-person businesses. So yeah, very much.
Yeah. I don't think we realise how important the small enterprise system is in the UK or actually the world. But there's a problem with this because, yeah, you're self-employed and you might have a little bit of freedom or something like that, and things like that. And that's why people go into business, right? Is to get the freedom, make their own decisions, that kind of thing. Okay, but I'm trying to train my dog at the moment. I've got a little 1-year-old border collie who's super energetic and super intelligent, right? I can't tell you how clever this dog is, right? And the way I think about it is, unless she's working for me, unless she's doing something for me, she goes self-employed, right? And I don't want her to go self-employed because self-employed means she's chasing traffic. She's digging up the garden. She's barking at the moon. She's doing all the stuff that gives her a little bit of an adrenaline hit, right? But actually isn't useful at all, right?
Yeah.
I don't want her chasing traffic down the street. But the fact that a car goes past, she sees it and she runs after it, to her, she's doing it, right? To her, she's making progress. And to her, she's chasing that car. We both know that the car would have driven down the street, whatever. But the point is, she does all the stuff that gives her a short-term adrenaline hit and forgets to do all the stuff that that a real business owner does. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So firstly, I need prayer because I'm trying to train this dog. But equally, it's a good analogy about how being self-employed can actually be counterproductive.
Yeah, because you end up doing it all yourself, right? And you end up being a busy fool. But the reality is, when you start your own business and you're self-employed, what you've actually done is bought yourself a job, right? You just created yourself a job. But that's a massive step for many people. But the reality is you've just bought yourself a job. So the next thing is, right, we get incredibly busy, running around like lunatics, and we've got to hire some more people to come and help us, right?
Yeah, and now you get tied up in all the kind of man management affairs that doesn't actually move the business on, right? And nobody goes to school to learn how to be a manager. That's not what school is designed for. School is designed to bring out the lower level. But now you're all of a sudden you're a manager And I wonder how many people watching have heard this or said this to themselves. Oh, I just do it myself. Like nobody can do it as well as me, right?
Yeah.
Or if only I could get the right staff. Okay. I always challenge people who say, well, it's only me that can do it because
right.
I'm the best. I'm the best at it, right?
Yeah.
And I go, what? You're the best in the whole world at networking, are you? Of course not. Right. So what you need to do is you need to evolve yourself one level up as a manager and challenge those self-beliefs, right? And what happens when that happens is you become an owner.
Yeah.
And this is where this is where we truly see a business working, right? Because at this stage, the business can work almost autonomously without you, all right? And this is when you truly have a business. And a lot of people, if we go down the rungs a little bit, like you said earlier, you haven't bought yourself a business, you've bought yourself a job, right? And when people go, oh yeah, I'm a business owner, I often challenge that, right? And I'm like, okay, are you a business owner, or do you just have a job that doesn't work without you anymore, right? Because what we're trying to get people up to the level of a business owner.
Yeah. So this is the interesting point, right? And actually, I think it was Stephen Covey, said, the first thing that you should do when you start a business is think about what your exit is. And this is the point where you start to consider that, right, as the business owners. What's the next phase going to look like? And we often talk to people, Gareth, you'll know this, when we talk to people about, well, what's your exit? A lot of people just make an assumption that means sell. But the reality is that, for 80 or 90% of businesses, the business can't work without the owner, and therefore there is nothing to sell. So there is no asset. It can't be sold because the business can't work without the person that created the business, right? There's no system.
Yeah.
There's no system in the business.
Yeah. Totally. And, there's two questions I like to ask that really draw this out, and it scares a lot of business owners. And one is, what does the business look like when it's finished? And number two is, what does the business look like in 100 years, right?
Yeah.
And don't just tell me what the business is in 100 years. What's the organizational chart of the business in 100 years? What's the turnover of the business in 100? What building are you in 100 years, right? And that's really scary for a lot of people who are at the self-employed stage, because their brains can't comprehend. When we're building businesses, what we want to be doing is building generational wealth, right? We want to be building a legacy, and that's what people don't get.
Good, great. Well, great that you mentioned generational wealth there. It kind of tees up Robert Kiyosaki quite nicely. He talked about rich dad, poor dad, right, Gareth? What did he mean by that?
Yeah, so there's a lot about this, and he's got the 4 quadrants, but essentially, normal people, I say normal people, most people, money in, money out, right?
Yeah.
And that's not what Robert Kiyosaki advocates. Robert Kiyosaki adds, money in, which is then invested, which then makes money, right?
Yeah.
So it's about, now that you're at the investor level, okay, now I can look at, do I invest in other businesses? Do I invest in property? Do I invest in stocks and shares or Bitcoin or whatever? Okay. But you're starting to look at, okay, how is my money going to work for me? How can my money take me from where I am to where I need to be? And make money while you sleep. That's the saying, isn't it? Right? What are you going to invest in that makes money while you sleep, so you don't have to be there? Because once you get to that stage and you're making money from money, then I believe, you're an entrepreneur and you get to the top of the ladder. And a lot of people, we really overuse the word entrepreneur in the 21st century, I think, because people go, oh yeah, no, I'm an entrepreneur. Now, to me, an entrepreneur is somebody who has multiple assets, who has multiple businesses, who has multiple income streams. Not somebody who's a small business owner who only owns one business. That is not an entrepreneur to me. That is somebody who, like you said earlier, has has got themselves a job. They own a job, right?
Yeah.
When you're an entrepreneur, you don't own a job. You own assets, and you own tangible things that is making you money all the time.
Definitely, Gareth. Couldn't agree more. Couldn't have said it better myself. Gareth, that's been absolutely brilliant. Thank you so much. Folks, look, if you want to come and talk to Gareth and I about how you can get yourself up that entrepreneurial ladder as fast as you possibly can, jump on a 30-minute strategy review with us. You can book one over on the website. Go to miltonkeynes.actioncoach.co.uk, or you can come and join us over in our VIP groups. I'll be putting the link to those in the comments as soon as we're finished on here. Come and join the Better Business Workshop, and there's a ton of content just like this over there. Gareth, it's been absolutely brilliant to see you. Thank you for jumping on today.
See you soon.
We'll see you on Wednesday, Gareth. Thank you so much.
Cheers.